Hi, this is Eric Leuschner from Real Property Management in Blacksburg, Virginia, where you can own the home and not the hassle. This is the next video in our series on landlord investor education. I hope you enjoy this as much as you have enjoyed the other videos. A couple of caveats to begin with. I'm not an attorney, so nothing I say should be construed as legal advice. I am not a financial advisor. Nothing I say should be construed as financial advice either. I am a licensed real estate agent in the Commonwealth of Virginia and a realtor. So you may have seen our last video on do-it-yourself landlords. This kind of follows along with that. And this is talking about why should I hire a property manager? The short answer is you can maximize your returns and you can minimize stress by using a property manager. There is a whole lot more to managing a rental property than putting a sign in the front yard, signing a lease, and collecting a check every month. And it can really eat into your time and cause a lot of stress. There's a lot of time savings to be had by using a property manager. A lot of do-it-yourself landlords, they just don't realize how much time they're spending managing their property. And so if you are a do-it-yourself landlord, sit down with a piece of paper, be honest with yourself, and think about how long it took you to write the advertisement, how long it takes you to drive from your house to the property to show a tenant the property, or drive to your house to show somebody the property and they don't show up. And you sit in the driveway for 15 minutes or 10 minutes, and then you drive back home. And maybe you're going over to that property 2 or 3 times a day. Um, when you're fixing something, you don't forget to include your time driving to the store to buy the part, and driving back to the property and doing the work, and driving back home again, and all the phone calls you're going to make. So be honest with yourself. Write that down. Figure out exactly how many hours that you're spending out of your life to manage this property. You also have to deal with those late night maintenance calls. The heater goes out, it's 20 degrees outside, it's 3 o'clock in the morning on Christmas Eve. You're going to get a phone call from the tenant saying, hey, the heater's out. And now instead of spending Christmas with your family, you're going to spend Christmas on the phone with an HVAC company trying to find somebody to come out and fix that person's heat. A lot of times, do-it-yourself landlords have trouble collecting rent. It's easy to establish a relationship, a friendly relationship with the tenants, and then that makes it very difficult when they haven't paid the rent. A property management company, a property manager is going to help place a quality tenant in that property. You can solve 90% of all problems with a rental property by placing the right tenant in the property from the beginning. Property managers have access to a lot of screening tools that an independent landlord may not have access to. They will have access to credit reports through the credit reporting bureaus. They'll have access to do a criminal background check, to look for evictions, to look for bankruptcies, and all those things that will help make sure that you have a good quality tenant in your house. Legal and compliance. There are a lot of laws involved with rental properties. The national trend is making those laws stricter, stricter in favor of the tenant, and it's very easy to miss something or not understand what's going on, and the courts will not accept ignorance of the law as an excuse. So it's best to know what the laws are, particularly around fair housing. Keep yourself out of trouble. Your property manager is probably going to have a lease that has been reviewed by an attorney and has been revised over time as different things are pointed out that need to be improved in that lease. So they're going to have a pretty ironclad lease for you. Evictions can be tricky. Uh, Judges frown very much on what's known as a self-help eviction. That is where the landlord will do something like turn off the electricity, turn off the water, change the locks, remove the doors from the property. You are not allowed to do that. You have to go through the courts to do the eviction. The eviction process is a little bit can be a little bit complicated. There are notices and things that have to happen in certain amount of time. If you miss the timelines, you may have to start over again. And even in the best of times, if you hit all those gates correctly, an eviction can take up to 90 days from the time the rent was not paid until the time the sheriff shows up to escort the person from the property. And that's 90 days of lost rent. So you certainly don't want it to be any longer than that. Your property managers are going to have an established network of vendors, people that they do business with on a routine basis. They're good customers. A property manager may replace 20 water heaters a month versus an independent landlord that replaces one water heater every 20 years. So when the property manager calls the plumber, they're going to definitely get an answer, get a call back, and the vendor will probably be a lot more willing to go out on a weekend or on an evening to make a repair for one of their good, high paying customers. Financial management, the property manager as a real estate professional is going to know what the current market is and how much your house can rent for. Um, just because your neighbor's getting $1,500 a month for their house doesn't mean that you're going to get $1,500 for your house. That lease, your neighbor's lease may have been signed 2 or 3 years ago when the market was completely different. You may get 2,000, you may get 1,000, but you need to know what the going rate is for your particular type of house in that market. A property manager is going to keep track of all your expenses and income for the year for that property. So that's going to greatly make your tax preparation a whole lot easier. You don't have to dig through that shoebox full of receipts to figure out what you spent on the house. And a lot of times the property managers, again, because they do it on a routine basis, they have some good systems in place to make sure that the rent is collected on time. A property manager can help you reduce vacancy. Vacancy costs you money. Generally speaking, $50 to $60 a day, every day the house is empty, is what you're losing. So by doing good marketing, having a network with other real estate agents, your property is going to get rented quicker with a property manager. That also goes back to the pricing. If the house is priced correctly, it will rent very quickly. Sometimes people think if the house rents in a week or 10 days, that they didn't ask enough money for it, and they should have asked more money because it rented too quickly. No, it rented quickly because it was priced exactly where it should have been priced. And you're not losing those empty days hoping for a higher rent. Property manager is going to give you a lot of peace of mind. They're going to act as a buffer between the tenant and yourself. You don't get yelled at. The property manager gets yelled at. You don't have to go over and try and collect that rent. The property manager is going to do that for you. The property manager is going to have a system in place to handle those 2 a.m. phone calls and have a maintenance network that's available to get somebody to get somebody out there. So again, why should you hire a property manager? You reduce stress, it protects your investment, and maximizes your returns. So hopefully you've enjoyed this and gotten some good information from it. Please click like and subscribe. You can see all our other videos in our library on YouTube.